Good Wednesday morning. Thanks for tuning in for your Wednesday edition of Weather Extra at WAFB. I'm meteorologist Henry Blakes, and you may notice a little muggy outside, but we are finally in the fall season, not necessarily feeling the part just yet, but we will get a little bit of relief in the coming days. But for now, as we wake up, or at least heading out, I know some of us just now getting up, some of us already on the roads, but you may notice quite a bit of cloud cover out there and a bit of a breeze as we look at the downtown Baton Rouge area on our Sky 9 camera from Port Allen. You're going to notice a little bit of a change in our weather today. Some of you had some showers yesterday. Nothing going on right now in the viewing area, but that is going to change. We're currently at 86 degrees right now. The wind, little breeze out of the west-southwest at 8 miles per hour, but look what's happening on radar. Just 30 minutes ago, we didn't have nearly this much activity around Lafayette, but we've got some storms popping up, pushing off towards the east. We will be watching out for these cells, as well as some starting to pop up in parts of Livingston Parish, St. Helena Parish, all of this pushing to the north and east. This is associated with a cold front that's going to be moving through. That's going to give us not only increased rain chances, but potentially even a little bit of more fall-like temperatures instead of summer. Here is the current position of that cold front just approaching Austin, Texas. You'll notice we got a hefty line of thunderstorms that are starting to develop, pushing in the northern parts of Louisiana, Shreveport. They have one little band push through. Now here's the next batch, and we are going to be watching out for scattered storms like this over the coming days. Now at this time, the National Hurricane Center does have us at least, well, rather national, the Storm Prediction Center rather has much of the deep south from Houston, Baton Rouge up into Nashville under at least a level 1 out of 5 risk of severe storms. When you see a level 1, that is a low risk, but that means we could have some isolated hit or miss stronger storms. And that's going to be for us mainly during the afternoon and evening hours for today. And zooming in a little bit tighter, that includes everyone in the WB viewing area up through Alexandria, Macomb, and into Jackson, Mississippi, and Hattiesburg. So what are these storms going to be capable of producing? Well, mainly the heavy rain or at least brief downpours are going to be one of the bigger concerns for today, even as well as tomorrow. And for right now, you'll notice over the next 12 hours, rain chances only at roughly 30% around the lunchtime hour. You kind of see how we do have some of those isolated storms popping up and becoming more scattered and widespread in nature. So rain chances, especially between, let's say, by 2 o'clock, if not 3, and into the early evening are going to be roughly at 60%. So hopefully you pack the rain gear, especially if you plan on heading home during the evening commute hours, because it's going to hit a little bit on the wet side and rough out there for the moment. Want to show you our future cast. One thing you're going to notice, just still mainly isolated hit or miss showers or storms by the 2 o'clock hour. But as we go to 3 and beyond, look at that. Could be dealing with a line of storms over Fort Polk and approaching Oakdale, and eventually that will make its way into our viewing area by at least the late afternoon into the early evening hours. Now remember, some of those storms could produce the heavy rain. There is the gusty wind threat and a low threat of maybe some small hail with some of those storms. The cold front itself, it's not going to push through the entire region at least until sometime Thursday into early Friday, which means if you're still ahead of that front for Thursday, you still had the potential for more scattered showers and storms. Notice Thursday morning, afternoon, mainly for our coastal parishes into New Orleans, but could see some storms ahead of that line, have the front at least, and that could impact the Baton Rouge area and the I-10-12 corridor with another round of rain for your Thursday afternoon and evening. Now, at least by Thursday night, the cold front should at least be through the Baton Rouge area, and by Friday morning, out of the state of Louisiana, and that's where we're going to start to gradually feel the differences in our weather once that front pushes through. So rain chances for the moment remaining anywhere from 60 to 70%, not just for today, but your Thursday as well. By Friday and into the weekend, the weather's looking perfect with that front out of here. The rain should be gone, and it's going to be feeling a lot more comfortable in addition to that. As the muggy meter can show you, we've got dew points mostly in the 70s for today, but notice that's a good indication of that frontal system pushing through. We start to see dew points in the mid to upper 60s as drier air pushes in, and that's going to also help it feel more comfortable with our daytime highs becoming more, let's say, typical for this time of year, mid to upper 80s. As for the rain totals or accumulations, the Weather Prediction Center is still going with anywhere from half an inch, some places maybe an inch or more, dependent on how fast or slow some of those stronger storms move. So we will be dealing with the potential for isolated flooding as well during some of those heavier storms. Before we end, let's take a look at the tropics because we still have a lot going on out there, starting with Hurricane Gabrielle. As of 10 o'clock, max wind at 110 miles per hour. It is racing east at a good whopping 25 miles per hour. So for us, no threat from Gabrielle, but it's going to lose a little bit of a tropical nature, but still going to be, unfortunately, a big issue for residents in parts of Europe as it pushes eastward towards the weekend. But here is Gabrielle right now. Let's zoom in a little bit tighter to Gabrielle. And you'll notice there's that eye wall, the center of circulation, not as well defined as it was about an hour ago, but still a relatively strong hurricane nonetheless. But in addition to Gabrielle, we got a couple of more little disturbances well to the south and west of Gabrielle. These are a couple of tropical waves that are expected to, unfortunately, undergo quick intensification as well. So here's the tropical development chance. This right here is for the next 48 hours or the next 2 days. Notice Invest 93L has a 90% chance of at least becoming a tropical depression within the next 48 hours. As far as Invest 94L, which is shaded in yellow, a low 30% chance within the next 2 days. Now, this is the next 2 days. What happens in the next 7 days? Well, still a good chance of 93L becoming at least a depression, but over the next 7 days, 94L could also become a depression, if not more. So we'll have to be watching the eastern seaboard for potential impacts for that. Still a little too early to know exactly where it's going to go and how much intensification is going to gain, but it is moving into an environment with a lot less wind shear as well as some warm water temperatures. So that is going to likely help for intensification of both of these systems. Now, as far as 93L, may not have as big of an impact on the eastern seaboard as 94L could, but we will keep watching this for further updates. But the good news is that for us here along the Gulf region in the deep south, we remain tropical weather free for the moment. Our big concern is going to be the approaching cold front, which gives us those better rain chances for today and tomorrow. But by Friday and into the weekend, the weather is actually looking picture perfect across the deep south. Thank you so much for tuning in, and remember that you can always watch our newscast live via the WAFB app on your mobile devices and online. And be sure to tune in this afternoon and evening. Jeff Morrow will have more updates on the approaching thunderstorm threat, and Dr. Steve Caparato will be tracking that as well for you this evening and tonight.